When Ty Chandler has a week like he had last week, what are some things you guys look at on film to kind of make sure he has another one like that when you know teams are going to be trying to take him away?
Well, I think it's a combination of his growth as a player, the offensive line making some holes from him, but also you saw him do some things on his own, which was some special things when maybe there was a guy unblocked in the hole. What we were really encouraged with too is in game he was very aware of kind of what had happened, even the things that he maybe could have been a little better on. He was very aware of kind of what had happened throughout a series when he came off the field, and that's always a good sign with a young player.
This probably oversimplifies it, but why? Obviously he was capable of a game like that. Why did it take until this week for that to kind of come out of him?
Well, I think development of a player coming in is a lot of times you see more of the finished product, and you say, why was, since he was here last year, why wasn't he in right from the start? And there's been a lot of growth from when he first came in. He's an extremely hard worker. He's a great young man. He's one of the guys that when Nick Mullins on every Friday when Kirk is playing would come into this indoor at about 5 o'clock on a Friday and go through the entire plan on his own. Ty noticed that he was doing that and asked if he could jump in and do it with him. So that's what kind of person he is, and you like to see good people have success.
Was that this season or last season? Fridays?
That was this season when he looked out. He just was leaving the building and saw Nick out there and said, "What are you doing?" So he's a football guy. He's a great worker, great kid. So you're happy to see him have success.
When you talk about that development, what are the biggest areas of growth, or maybe one in particular that he's gone through over the last year and a half?
Well, I think any college back coming in, if you're not in kind of a pro-style system, a lot of the tempo stuff where they're in shotgun just going fast, protection is always a huge part of the NFL, the multiple looks that you can get. And then a lot of times running from the dot, as we call it, like from the back, the quarterback under center, a lot of different schemes, gap pull schemes, wide zones, mid zones, your tracks, your course, your reads, all the things that are going through your mind in the play pass protection. So there's just a lot more generally that those guys haven't done from a running back standpoint.
Wes, I remember you being really complimentary of Jared Goff last year. Obviously, your time with him. At the times you've gotten to watch Detroit's offense, just what have you seen just from the role he's playing in their system, and just this year, kind of how he's gotten them playing?
Yeah, again, I wish he wasn't in the division because I could really root for Jared Goff, just because I really enjoyed my time with him. But what you see is, there's a reason why he was the first pick in the draft as a quarterback. The arm talent, the ability, the accuracy, his ability to get the ball out in some tough situations accurately. And then they've got some weapons that you put some people around him, and you see kind of what it can be. But his growth. I mean, he's one of those guys that if you can scheme it right, and Ben Johnson's done a great job. If you scheme it right, he's going to hit it every time. Kind of like I would say about Kirk. I mean, there's only a certain amount of guys that. There's a lot of quarterbacks in the league. Even if you scheme it right, it might not be an accurate ball. It might not get out on time. If you set it up right for him, he's going to hit it every time, and I think you're seeing their success.
How much do you end up talking, like you or Kevin, and guys that have had experience with Jared? How much do you end up talking with defensive coaches, weeks like this, about insights on him and ways to, what things he might struggle with from your experience?
Yeah, I think he's grown a lot from when we were with him, but you definitely try to, especially Kevin, who coached him personally in that room every day, you try to at least give him a few tips about things that maybe he struggled with or wasn't as comfortable with from a defensive look standpoint. Some quarterbacks, you pressure them, they don't handle it as well, or you give more disguise of coverage, and some guys can handle some of those things better than others. But yeah, I know there were some discussions there, but in the end, it's going to be Brian Flores' defense, and we feel pretty good about that.
What stood out most to you about the game Jordan Addison had on Saturday?
I think what you see with JJ back is, it gets really tough on the defense. It's nice to have two weapons, but when you have Hawkinson and JJ and Jordan, it just makes it really tough. And then when your run game's going well, I mean, it just kind of all starts coming together. You end up having, over 300 yards passing and over 100 yards rushing. And really, as we look back, we always feel like we left some yards out there as well. So just having all those threats on the field at one time, it makes it really difficult for them, whether they want to play man coverage, and particularly whether they want to put two players on Justin Jefferson. All right. Thank you.